Guess who it is? You probably don't need to guess, because you know who it is, because you probably clicked on this. The only way you wouldn't have found this video from clicking on it is if it was already open on the device you're now looking at or listening to. But yeah, great day. I've just did a maths exam, so that means I've done my maths exam for this week. Great news. But now it just means I've got 6 more exams next week. Woo! It's gonna be fun. Got a lot to do. I mucked up the last question. Little bit of quadratic maths. It wasn't actually that difficult. I just my brain was very fried at this stage. You know, not from marijuana, just from constant maths. But I think I'm happy with how I did. I am happy with how I did, and life's good, man. I've done my exams, and now there's nothing stopping me. For 3 days, nothing's stopping me to do anything I want, apart from the exams next week. But all's well, all's exciting, and lots of the world I'm still yet to experience, so that's okay. But yeah, all good, all great, all good. Yeah, man. Oh yeah, I'm doing my first ever podcast on somebody else's podcast this weekend on Sunday. Nathan Gibbons, I think it is. Very nice man. Haven't met him. Seems like a nice guy. He wasn't patronising to me when I said come and meet on November the 31st. He probably thought I was joking, because maybe he thinks I'm a try-hard to be funny comedian who maybe he thinks I sit in front of a microphone trying to be funny for 15 minutes every week. Don't know. Maybe he's right. And yeah, so he corrected me kindly, which is obviously very nice. I think all the comedians that I've met on the circuit have been almost all of them have been really supportive, but I guess they're not they're not super successful yet, so maybe they haven't developed an ego or all those kind of issues that people, issues, it depends how you look at it, all those kind of characteristics people develop with success. And that's okay. I think you're in some ways entitled to be proud of what you do, but when you're negative towards other people who are trying to do what you've achieved, I think that's quite childish. Quite childish, personally. Wow. Just been shopping as well. I got off school and I was like, yes, on all my exams, but then bang, right in Tesco, bang, right up the butter aisle, bang, right down the dairy aisle. They're different because I have to get lactose-free yogurt, bang, I meant to say butter. Then I was in the egg aisle like I usually am, getting my 12 eggs, and I was slightly perturbed by the what they called happy eggs. I have like a cancer supportive batch of eggs, but they're 20p more expensive. And I just think, if you're a very successful company, why don't you just keep it the same price and say, yeah, we donate 10% of people who buy these eggs, 10% of the revenue we earn from these eggs goes to cancer research. Why do I have to pay more? It's not fair. I'm the one who's buying from you. You could be a bit kinder, personally. But I think when you ask a company to be kinder, it's a little bit silly because the kindness isn't what they're going for. Some companies do. What company goes for kindness? The only company that gives me kindness are my friends. That's quite clever. I used the double meaning of company. Yeah, I like my friends. My friends are great. Narlin really makes me laugh, man. Narlin's the only person who's ever made me piss myself laughing, and he's made me piss myself laughing twice. Full on piss myself. But yeah. And also, what he did wasn't even that funny. It was just the timing of it and everything that was going on. One time, we were in his basement eating tea bags, and then obviously the tea bags tasted rancid, so he spat it in the toilet, and it just looked like a mess. And then he made the joke that if the police were breaking into his house because he was a drug dealer and he ran to the basement to spit all his weed down the toilet. And I pissed myself. I just lost it. He's made me laugh by saying itchy scalp. That's killed me. But it's funny because we were both in his shower together, but we were wearing swimming trunks. Yeah, I can't remember why that happened. And it's probably a legitimate there's probably some kind of cleansing reasoning behind that. I can't imagine we would have just showered together. Never showered with Nolan. Yeah. He really made me laugh, and all sorts of things been happening. Oh, we need to do one of my what are they called? Itchy scalps. No, they're called zesty testes. I think I've told. I haven't got my notebook. I was really unprepared. Oh dear. What could we do? We could tell my Christmas maths joke. Okay, we're gonna do my Christmas maths joke. This might take some research on the notation of hypothesis testing. But what do you call mathematical Santa Claus? Null hypothesis, null hypothesis, wait, no! What does mathematical Santa Claus say? Null hypothesis, null hypothesis, null hypothesis. This is what we're here for. We're here for love, joy, and other of Bob Marley's favourite words. Bob Marley's a great man. Was a great man. But I guess if you were a great man and you still influence society, you kind of still are a great man. A great being, a great influence. They're great women as well. I can't think of a great woman. Mariah Carey, not Mariah Carey. Mariah Curie, yeah. Mary Curie was a very, very impressive woman, and only woman to have only woman to have a Nobel Prize in 2 different disciplines of science. She has one in physics and one in chemistry. Fortunately, due to a great revolutionary, knew what metals were, she kept getting cancer because she kept touching dangerous things. But she didn't know they were dangerous yet. So she kind of was like, wow, this is kind of interesting. So she kept, researching them, handling them, and putting them and seeing what they did. And then at the end, the whole chalkboard came alive with the message that these things caused cancer. So, I mean, it's not what you want to hear. That's like winning the marathon, only to find out that the person who wins the marathon has to stand on hot coals while it rains hot coals. So you're sandwiched between hot coals, really. And you also, if you're a marathon runner, you haven't even got that much meat on you, to be honest. You're all aerobic capacity muscles. You're not trying to have big muscles where you can store lots of phosphocreatine. They're useless. You don't need phosphocreatine because you need your aerobic glycolysis. Wow. That's why if you're a desert island, I don't think you shouldn't go for marathon runners. And also, you're never going to fucking catch them anyway. Like, if they get at least a 10 metre head start, they could run rings around the island and you'd feel like a bit of a dickhead. And then what would end up happening actually is that you would faint because you'd be tired, and then you'd wake up and someone would have their knee down their, your knee down their throat. You'd look down and you'd say, I don't remember having a person growing out of my leg, and then you'd realise that the person wouldn't be growing out of your leg, they'd actually have your leg in their mouth. It should be quite impressive, actually. Longest tongue in the world, 3.63 inches. Nice one, dude. American guy. Oh man, all these interesting phenomenon happen to me. So there's this theory called, what's it called? It's a theory where you observe something and then it happen, and then you see other cases of it, which is sort of logical. But I'll give you an explanation. So for example, let's say I do loads of research into the certain breed of bird, and then I go for a walk and I'm like, oh my god, there's a bird there, there's these birds everywhere. I mean, because of your research, you're more accustomed to being able to see them, so that's why you see them more. But you actually were there anyway, you just didn't know that they were there because you didn't do the research on them. So, but what happened with me is that I was talking about having long tongues to somebody. And there was I wonder who's got the longest tongue in the world, and then I was scrolling for Instagram and it's like, longest tongue in the world. Like, wow. But if I was in my standard environment, then I would have seen that he had a long tongue and thought, okay, that guy's got a long tongue. And I wouldn't have thought that there was like a conspiracy where there's multiple universes that all dimensions all collide and there's me with a tongue. All strange. Oh man, we're coming up to a second. Sorry, I'm really tired today, but I need to do this. It's very important I teach myself discipline. Another zesty testy. Did you... Let me tell a joke. No, I don't want to tell a joke. I want to say a quote. Oh, I've done that one. Oh, I'm so rubbish. Um, I think that's the sound that that rockets make when they fly, according to the films. Did you know that if you have a duck and you make the duck fly, then it probably won't listen to you, so it won't fly? Oh man, I'm tired. Because the duck, oh my god, my software's going crazy. Because ducks don't listen to humans that well. It's because whenever it gets, okay, whatever set. Oh dear, God, man, I'm not energized for this. Come on, man, discipline. Let's keep us going. Do you want to get anywhere? Yeah, I do. Yeah, man, it's important that you when you got people and oh no, shut up. God's sake, what are we gonna do? My life's just been very flatline recently. It'd be, if you know, it's just been a bit flatline. It's been dy of dx equals 0 kind of thing. Gradient function, there's no gradient, it's flat. It's just kind of loads of exams. Maybe I should just be real. I'm heading into a stressful academic week with lots of exams, and I can't be arsed. Because I don't really like, I'm not really hugely excited by my subject. Like, I like my subjects, but I'm not hugely excited by the idea of getting A's and B's and C's and F's and Q's and all sorts, P's and Q's. I don't know, I just kind of want to do my thing. Which I am doing now, I am doing my thing, which is important I do, because otherwise I'll be that guy who, yeah, well, I've loved stand-up comedy, but I just felt university was where I was gonna, I don't know, make friends, drink alcohol, make friends for life, and just follow the people who else go to university. I'll probably go to university, I'm just not sure, because it's just kind of, it's a lot of money, and I'd love just to bounce off into the world, and just try and see if I can get a hold on something, like, just chalk my hands up, jump off, and just see if I can grab a Tesco Employee of the Month deal, and get a bit of a promotion, or kind of start from scratch. I find that a lot more exciting than jumping off and kind of, because if I jump off now, then I jump off a wall, but then I've got a chance to grab onto the wall. Whereas if I go to university, I start off at the bottom of the wall, but I've kind of got more skills. Like, I've been taught how to climb better, but I'd rather learn how to climb myself. But the issue that you have is that if you jump off a wall and you jar your shoulder, and you kind of have a mental thing of, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to climb the wall, then you're probably going to not be able to climb the wall. So I'm kind of preparing myself. I'm kind of doing proprioception exercises on my shoulders to keep my joints working. This is all a metaphor. Basically, I'm not sure if I want to just fly off into somewhere in London, own like a 1 meter squared room. Luckily, in this case, I was actually talking about the vertical 1 meter square plane. So the floor could actually be infinitely long, but I'm just saying, like, vertically. Well, then I'd have to crouch all the time. I'd probably get back problems. Ugh, hassle. Basically, I just want to buy like a really small thing, a really cheap place, and just kind of like do little bits and bobs and try and do comedy. For me, that's way more exciting than going to uni and meeting nice people and getting a foundation to my career whilst being able to do comedy on the side. I'd just prefer just to jump off. Because realistically, you gotta do something, man. I couldn't be that guy who didn't go for it. Because I would just be I live a very jealous life, and jealousy is rather painful, and there's no benefit. There's kind of competition is jealousy with a positive aspect. I think jealousy on its own can't be positive, but if you combine that with competitiveness, then it's kind of a positive output of jealousness, maybe. But yeah, I try not to be jealous. Obviously, sometimes there are moments where everyone's like, oh, I'd like to be that guy. But then, you realise that you've got your own things. And yeah, sure, I'd like to go to a sixth form where there's great social life, where I can make loads of friends. But then if I did do that, maybe I would be a little bit less defined as a person, because I would always be with more defined people. And I would always be, I'd always be with more people, talking to more friends. And I'd kind of be a bit more of a gel. Just be like a bit of a lubrication in social life rather than being my own kind of functioning member, which I sort of am now. Anyway, my lovelies, I love you all, and the final joke is the fact that I've got to do 6 more months of school. See ya.